What's up guys, it's Hussuhagen here with another video for you guys to see. Today we're going over my UDL Beta draft in season 3 of UDL. For context, this is an UU Ubers league, so some of the more busted Terra captains are allowed, some Ubers are allowed, but nothing like Kyogre or Calyrex, for example, just basic lower end Ubers with some busted strong caps. So this is the team, and I would like to analyze each piece in my draft and talk about a little what I was thinking when I put this together. So let's get started. Obviously, first of all, make a place again for my first pick. I was 13th in draft, and this was the best Uber non-Terra one that was left out for me, so I took it. I wasn't really keen on it, but I thought that it might be a fun one to experiment with for the upcoming season. So obviously what Blaziken does, it has 160 base attack, 100 base speed and beast boost, speed boost for that free beast boosting after every turn. And from our normal Blaziken, it has a 20 more speed, so it is allowed to run Adamant more freely, because it gets the jump on certain Scarfers, and this outspeeds, I think, I'll have to check. Yeah, this outspeeds even a max speed Dragapult at +1, which a normal Blaziken isn't allowed to do. If not running Jolly, then this can run Adamant to achieve that, so it's allowed way more like offensive and defensive investments just to get those natural outspeeds with its base 100 speed at 299. And for obvious reasons, it has Sword Stance, U-turn, Inguise I needed for pivoting. It has I think, yeah, close combat, Flare Blitz for stabs, Great Bird, really good coverage now since Gen 8, since its reintroduction into the metagame. And after getting these tools like close combat in before, when it had to run a high jump kick for its fighting stab, and it has EQ. What more can you ask for it? Yeah, and after which I went to our VGB Discord and was asking about what the fuck to pick with this, because I didn't really understand this mon really well. And I got told that a good way of beating bulky waters was needed, and Log Eyes in specific proposed Terracurum, and that was having to be left open, so I went for it. Well, what changes from normal Kyurem is that it gains a physical stab, a good physical coverage move for the Dragon Dance sets, and it gains obviously a lot more power to its special sets. It gets stab potentially on ground, Terra ground, earth powers. It gets a Terra Electric to beat those bulky waters in case it needs to. Like, it gains a lot from the Terra, and just the fact that it can Terra out of this terrible natural typing into a more viable typing like pure electric or fairy or something like that, and get rid of this rocks weakness helps it a lot during over the games, and allows it to run like items like loaded dice a lot more with Icicle Spear Scale Shot, or even run like choice attacker sets, so it isn't that reliant on boots and especially in national decks where defog and removal is more common in West than in Pal decks. So that is how I understand it. I have never seen it used before, so I'm really excited to use it personally. And for the rest of the free, I was looking at my speed options and a dark type in specific, so I can beat ghosts somewhere for this Blaziken. And Mioscarada was the best one I found at the time. It was a toss-up between Greninja and Mioscarada, but I preferred the knockoff because I was looking at getting webs for my draft, and I wanted some way to abuse that fact that I have webs, and so I wanted a strong knockoff user that can just click that move once or twice and live with it. So that's cool. Mioscarada obviously is a busted ass mon in Paldea decks and in standard national decks. It isn't as strong in UU burst because there are way higher speed options. Like we can just check the beta docs. So there's like Full Ladder Main, Samazenta, Formosa, Chiempao, Deoxys even. Naga doesn't outspeed it, but it's a strong speed option. Spectre or Samazenta Ground, Alakazam, Mega Alakazam, and Dragapult that are legal here, that are faster than it, so it's not as excellent in terms of its speed, without even talking about Megas. It is mostly just Mega Lopunny, and I guess Terra is a mon that you can use. And Mega Aerodactyl, which beats most Mioscaradas outright. So it isn't as fast as compared to normal, but it's still a very good high-end speed option with strong knockoff U-turn. It can just click its tabs plus U-turn for these two to get them in, and I'll enable sweeps more often, and it gives some freedom to this Kyurem, so it doesn't need to be that Terra Electric sweeper or run freeze dry as often, so you can just bunk them down with Flower Trick. So that's a cool option. Yeah, for my fourth option or fourth pick, I wasn't that sure what I wanted. I was thinking about either getting a ground next or some other strong offensive mon. I was looking at Deoxys personally, which was still left open at that point. But I came across Necrozma Dawnwings, and it is mostly here to provide me with some absurd damage, so this Kyurem can be more of leaning towards the scale shot special offense sets, and it's just a thick boy. It has a lot of HP, it's really bulky for what it is. With Prism Armor, it takes 3/4 from super effective damage, and unlike in Paldea decks where it's mid, because its only speed boosting option is Dragon Dance, it has Autonomize in this format, and it also it has Toxic, for example, so it can be this bulky attacker that won't just simply die with Moonlight. It doesn't have Roost, which is kind of a bummer, but Moonlight will do, or Morning Sun, depending if I'm facing like rain, for example. Photon-Geist are obviously for the others, for the Psychic Stab, Moongeist being for the Ghost Stab, so that's practically impossible to resist outside of Dark types, and I have a Blaziken to beat those Dark types for this Necrozma, so I found this pairing really good in case I want to run like an all-out attack or Blaziken in some matchups and get this Necrozma as my sweeper, or other way around, I want to use this as like an early breaker with Choice Specs or Choice Scarf or Trick Room 3 attacks or that kind of stuff, so my Blaziken can shine more. So that was the line of thinking I had for this Necrozma pickup. And this offense is looking kind of cracked, so after I was looking at defensive pieces for my draft and supporting pieces so I can enable this for a lot more. And first came Tinkaton for my Steel and Fairy, And as you guys saw earlier, I have a second fairy too, but my this is my main steal, and it's a fast anchor man with rocks with knockoff. You know what it basically does? It was 11 points, so I felt it was kind of cheap. For 11, it can check some psychic types, for example. It can check fairies really effectively. It can it's a fairy that isn't weak to poison, or is rather immune to them. So stuff like mainly Naganandel is really hard for this to deal with, unless it's like running Fire Blast, which it kind of needs to hear, and it is underwaved really easily then. So it is just here to provide the utility I need in Encore, in Stealth Rocks, and typing, and knockoff obviously, for my top 4 to really do what they need to do. And then I picked Swampert next. Orion and Dido was suggesting Nidoking here, but I am not that huge a fan of Nidos personally. They don't really fit my idea of an ideal ground, and I wanted more pivoting ground. So since Gliscor was sniped, I went for Swampert, and Swampert here to provide a second rocker in case I don't want to bring Tinkaton rocks, and it obviously also Necrosis can run rocks, so this can run like Yarn sets or Toxic Protect sets, but it is here to be this sturdy offensive check to lots of my enemies with knockoff, with flip turn, earthquake, earth power if you need, and sponge up some of those hits and get my top 4 in with flip turn. And I hold on. Sorry, as you can tell clearly, I valued heavily for the flip turn in the ground or pivoting, and it's a really comfortable one for me personally. I've used this many times to success, most notably in XPDLA like a year ago, to get myself almost into a win with 3 water core. So that was the line of thinking, and then Rotom for the last defensive centerpiece, with and to provide a ground immune, to provide a flying resist that this team desperately needed, and to provide a physically bulky fairy resist that I liked. I didn't really want to go or focus really on my poison, since I was expecting to get my Scolipede as my poison, and that doesn't really beat fairies or deal with them, and is kind of weak to flyings again. So I went for this, and it has, you know what Rotom does, it has defog, which is probably what it will be doing a lot in my team. It has Toxic Thunder Rifles, which you know what pivoting Rotom does, it checks everything or is an offensive mon itself, and I find the role that it provided really well, extremely important in this team. And then for the last 3, Ribambi to give me a second fast mana. It is in fact 1 point faster than Meowscarada, and well, it's not really a real mana, but what is trying to provide is sticky webs and stun spore, mostly just these disruption moves in case I happen to need them, like Aromatherapy, Defog I guess, and a Roost, and U-turn, Switcheroo, Tailwind, you name it. just to be an asshole to the opposing team and allowing my big four to really go into town with its support, and to be a good lead into many things of the format. So that was the idea behind my Ribambi pick. I got sniped on Skull Beat here the pick before, so I was originally planning on going Skull Beat here and going Terra Slurp off for my webs user, but Ribambi fits the bill well enough, so I'm not really mad about that. I don't think it will get much use in case I don't need webs a lot, but I determined that I am better off with something else. But it's an average mod for what it does, and it should be doing it well on this team. Then Graphii, to mostly, this was kind of surprising to me, to provide me with a ghost resist that I was desperately looking for, or ghost immune here, because Mio isn't the ghost resist, and so I don't need to be forced into Terra Darking my Kyurem a lot more. And it fits the build pretty well. It has Parting Shot, it has Encore, it has Knockoff, it has everything I really need from a disruption mod in this kind of context. And Super Fang to get some guaranteed rolls, to really just be an asshole to the opposing team with like Prankster and Poison Touch. And then I guess it has the Unburden angle, but I don't think I will ever use it over having my real sweepers to go to town. So just like Prankster and Poison Touch, to really just be an asshole and click Toxic and U-turn and Parting Shot and Encore and Knockoff, and I guess Endeavor and Super Fang and Taunt with priority with Prankster. So that was that line between. And last year of Tyrantrum, mostly to provide me with a last second flying resist, or a third one rather, and it's a strong attacker with webs especially, and strong jaw, rockhead, whatever you pick, so you can just click hedge mash or the strong jaw boosted attacks. In case it has a good matchup. I don't think it will be coming a lot over like Kyurem, but it still has potential to be a ring if it really has a good matchup. If the opposing team is like really weak to webs and hedge smash weak. So that was pretty much it with it. And yeah, more stealth rocks, I guess. This last pick wasn't that really important to me, but it might come from time to time, and I'm not mad if I have to use it. So yeah, that's the team. The entire idea here is to, I have this big 4 offensive ones, and I can then use the rest of the 6 in my team to support that offense, and hope to get kills with these. And I hope I can do the good this season, because I want to prove that Logan is a bald meathead, and just do good in a format I really enjoy. But I'm looking forward to this season of beta. I hope I have the time to really put in the effort, due to my 88 goals run being so vital to me right now, and now with SPS starting, and having potentially Wiglet of League Hopeless owns starting soon. But I hope to do good in this, and it's a really draft I personally will probably enjoy using, because it's so heavy on balance, and it should fit my playstyle pretty well. Yeah, Logan is a bald meathead if I win the season. That is confirmed. And yeah, that is my episode of my UDL draft analysis, and I can go more in depth about how I do my personal drafting in a later date for a more educational video, but this is just an oversight on what I was thinking during the last week when this draft was going on. So hope you guys enjoyed it, and see you in next time. Goodbye.